I'm Victoria Pearson, but you can call me V, and today I am off to Yorkshire Sculpture Park to go for a little informal memorial for my friend Michael Wombat. He was one of the other 4 authors of the somw trilogy, and we worked very closely together over the last 2 years of his life, and so I'm super excited to go and meet all of his loved ones, but I'm also excited to see the sculpture park because I've never been up there before. Unfortunately, I am a little bit achy and wobbly today, so I don't know how much of the sculpture park itself we will see, but I'm pretty sure that even the picnic area just inside the door is supposed to be absolutely beautiful. So I'll bring you along with me to see. It is still super early, but we are off. I'm with the lovely Miranda, who is another one of the authors from the somw trilogy, as you guys already know because you watch my channel all the time. We are off to Yorkshire Sculpture Park this morning.
Yorkshire Sculpture Park.
Yorkshire, I can't say it. Miranda, where are we
Yorkshire Sculpture Park.
Thank you. The journey from where I live to Yorkshire Sculpture Park is pretty long. Throughout the week we were looking and we were seeing like 2 hours 40 minutes and 2 hours 50 minutes. But actually on the day it only took us 2 hours 15. We were very, very lucky with the traffic. It was really weird for me, though, to be sitting in what should be the driver's seat, but as a passenger. Miranda lives in the Netherlands, and so her steering wheel is on the left side of the car. It was really very odd. We have, of course, stopped at Greggs for breakfast, because even though you can take Miranda out of Britain,
You cannot take our Greggs away from us.
Service stations in the UK are much of a muchness, I think. This was a medium-sized one, and it does have more than just Greggs here. And I love that they cater for the dogs as well. We didn't hang around at the services too long because we didn't want the traffic to start building. And that was a wise decision because other people that came up on the same motorway a little bit later did get stuck in traffic. We had a few showers on the way as well. We started to think, oh no, maybe it's going to rain on us. But when we got to the park, it stayed dry all day and it was absolutely gorgeous weather. My back and my hips were just about starting to complain when we realised how close we were to the park. And actually it is really, really close to the motorway. It's almost as soon as you come off the M1. You can see the sign for it on the M1. Almost within moments you are at the actual park itself. And there is more than one car park here. But each of them have a little one-way system that you go through so that you can show off your tickets and they'll let you in that way. It maybe is a little bit confusing because it's a bit of a one-way system, and as you can see there are sheep wandering everywhere, so your attention is kind of taken with them rather than looking at the markings on the road. When we arrived, we made a beeline for the first building we saw, which was this. I think there's an art gallery upstairs, and you can see some of the sculptures from inside in the cool, which is really nice as well. There's also a gift shop there, and we went here in hunt of a hat because both of us were very daft and forgot to bring a sun hat with us. They didn't have any sun hats in there. They had like cards and little knickknacks and even like lampshades and things, but no water bottles or hats, which was kind of what we had gone in there looking for. Never mind. We headed towards the learning centre so that we could meet up with the rest of the group that was there to remember Wombat. I think that there are some step-free routes around this park and some of them are signposted, but we ended up going a not step-free route in the end to find the learning centre where our friends were. And we saw some pretty cool sculptures on the way, like this that I think looks like a stylised vagina, or this giant hair comb sticking out of the grass, and this cool hydra fighting a sort of bear thing. I tried to get a thumbnail picture in front of that, but I was kind of self-conscious because there were like a zillion people around me, and so I just ended up kind of looking a bit awkward while my friend filmed me being an idiot. Oh well. I really loved how the sculptures just seem to be part of the landscape here. You've got this huge sweeping country park type landscape with these really cool modern sculptures in the middle, but they don't look plonked in. They look like they've always been part of this place and they're always supposed to have been here. It was such a beautiful day, but I really enjoyed the dapple shade at the picnic area. We spent some time looking at the birds and the squirrels and the rabbits that were running around there before wandering off to look at some more of the sculptures. Now, I was actually using my cane on this day, and some of the terrain was a bit rough, some of it was a bit gravelly, but my friends' loved ones were just so considerate. We really took our time and took lots of little rests in beautiful places like this, and so it wasn't actually as hard on my body as I had been expecting it to be. This is the sculpture that Michael liked the most. It's called the Hair Lady. Well, actually, I think it's called Sitting, but it's known as the Hair Lady. It has a magnificent bum, and he would have really appreciated us all having a little rest around there. But soon we wandered on. There were some, like, every sculpture is very, very different here. Some of them are very sort of abstract and colourful. Some of them are very industrial. Some of them feel sort of native. And there's lots and lots of trees and benches that are dedicated to people around here. So you can tell people really love this place. Inside this little bunny statue skirt is Kit, which is Womby's youngest child. And they did give permission for me to show them in the video, which is good because every time I was filming some birds, Kit was there filming them too. It was actually lovely to spend time with somebody that is as enthusiastic about birds and nature and little trinkets as I am. It really made the day go very nicely. Yorkshire Sculpture Park used to be a country house, I think, and you can tell a lot of the original buildings are still standing, and it's just got this whole sort of sweeping country park feel to it, which makes it feel very, very grand, actually. There are a ton of geese here. These are the Canada geese with their little gosling babies. And there are also squirrels, there are sheep, there are cows wandering around. People bring their dogs as well. And so this is a good day out for general animal lovers, I would say. As well as people like me who like to collect the occasional cool feather. There are a few different circular walks around here of various different difficulty levels, and we ignored all of them and just sort of wandered around. We enjoyed just wandering, taking in the little rivers and lakes and having little rests while we were waiting for various different people to show up, because we all came at different times of day depending on how far away we were coming from. It was really, really nice just meandering through the shady bits and checking out the sculptures, some of which I really, really loved and some of which, well, we'll get to Damien Hirst later. I absolutely loved this little waterfall though. There is something about the sound of running water when it's hot that just makes you feel refreshed even if you don't have a drink. So yeah, back to Damien Hirst. From this angle, this statue isn't too weird, I suppose. Okay, it's a naked pregnant lady who has no bush, who would appear to be giving her arse a jolly good scratch. But it's when you get closer to it and you go round the other side, which I didn't do because of the incline, that you see just how weird this is. So I stole my friend Miranda's photo so you can see the weirdness. Because yeah, this pregnant lady is half flayed for some reason. But hey, Damien Hirst, what are you going to do? We sat under the tree near the Damien Hirst statue, which is called the Virgin Mother, apparently, and we sat in the shade of this tree with these sheep while we were waiting for some more people to arrive. The sheep was not actually too happy about this and continued to bleat at us constantly, even though we were quite happy to share the shade with him. It was a nice little place to sit. If a little bit sheep pooey, I would recommend that you bring a picnic blanket with you if you intend to sit here. And look, cows. We like seeing cows. Having taken the path of least resistance and gone gently downhill all the way all day, the time came when the only way was up. And with these gravelly paths and my unstable joints, I did struggle with that, so I kept having to stop to film sheep and catch my breath, pretend that I wasn't quite as unfit as I was. My cane definitely came into its own going up this little hill, and I am really, really glad that I brought it with me. The wildflowers along the way here were absolutely gorgeous. It really is so beautiful here. This was a brilliant place to choose for Wombat's memorial, and I can totally see why he loved it here. I wish that we'd got a chance to explore a bit more, but unfortunately I am physically unable to do that. But we did see quite a few sculptures, so that's nice. We headed back a slightly different route towards the Hair Lady statue that my friend Womby loved so much, and on the way we saw a completely melanated rabbit. In fact, I thought it was a pet that had escaped until I saw the other rabbits with it. We decided that that was a nice sign for Womby. I think he liked Watership Down, even if the black rabbit in that is a little bit scary. It felt like he was with us. I took the opportunity of this smoky glass to do a little selfie with my cane, which is a very new thing for me. I do not normally photograph myself with my cane, and I had been chucking it out of frame a lot on this trip. But I had this sudden moment of, why am I creating instability for myself and throwing my mobility aid away when I actually need it? Who is that for? There was no need for it at all. And so I decided that I was just going to let myself be photographed with my mobility aid. And you know what? I'm really glad. Incidentally, really loved this sculpture. The longer I looked at it, the more I saw in it, and I love things like that. We made our way back to the Lady Hare, which I believe is called Sitting. I think it is by someone called Sophie Ryder, and it's made of galvanised wire. It looks really, really cool up close. It's situated by this other Damien Hirst sculpture inside this little conservatory thing, and again, it was pointed out, no bush. Very strange. But we spent quite a bit of time around the Lady Hare because it was Womby's favourite, and that is where I had a photo taken with my cane without smoky glass. I'm not actually sure if this was taken by Dave Edwards, who's pictured at the front there, or it was one of the strangers that came and offered to take a picture of us because we were struggling to get everyone in frame. But I'm really glad that I don't look as much like Gollum as I thought I did when I'm using my cane. Of course, we didn't scatter any of Womby's ashes here because that's not allowed, but if we had, I'm sure we would have done it around the bum of that particular statue. It was a very long day, and when we were heading home, I did think that I might nod off in the car. I managed to stay awake, which was very good, and it was just such a beautiful, beautiful day. It was so nice to have so many of Womby's loved ones turn up for him, to get a chance to meet his family members, and to share some memories of him. It was a beautiful place to go to remember somebody, and I would absolutely recommend it to anybody. I think if I wanted to fully explore the park, I would need quite a few days to do it. It is very, very big. I think we only saw about a quarter of it, if that, throughout the day, and it still took us 4 or 5 hours, but we were all moving, well, at my pace, to be honest. I think that most people were grateful that they had a slower person to pace against on such a hot day with so many inclines and so much walking. But oh my gosh, it was so very worth it. And I hope that we all meet up and do it again. Oh, I am absolutely shattered after that, absolutely worn out. But that being said, I expected to be in a lot more pain after finishing that than I actually am. Last weekend, I sat on a picnic bench for a few hours and then stood for an hour or so, and the pain in my shoulders and neck from leaning on my cane was horrendous. But actually, after a full day of pottering around at Yorkshire Sculpture Garden, I simply have a little bit of achiness here and here from using my cane, but not that massive pain that comes from overusing it, so I'm really, really grateful for that. I also forgot to mention in my little voiceover there that Kit Cooper, who I pictured inside the rabbit's skirt, Womby's youngest, I think youngest, is also the artist for the somw books. And so they created these amazing covers. Here we have got the messenger parrots from book 1 who give our heroes their mission. And then for Savage Invasion, we've got the cockatrices on there. Very, very cool. And then in Battle of Wind and Fire, well, I don't want to tell you what kind of bird that is in case I give you a little spoiler, but it's very relevant to the story. Kit is an extremely talented artist, and I will link to their accounts in the description, because while I'm talking off the top of my head, I can't remember what their username is, but I know that they are on socials. So I will tag them in the description if you want to hire them to do some art for you. The briefs for these weren't as detailed as I would normally give an artist, and yet they still managed to pull out of the bag exactly what we were looking for, and I couldn't be happier with them. So hire Kit, they are worth it. I think I need a little sleep now. Join me on Monday for my next vlog where, as usual, I am so chaotically disorganised that I don't know what we are talking about. But in general, I share gentle ways that we can grow together, be just a little bit happier, bring just a little bit more joy into our lives. So I'll be doing something vaguely related to that. But if you can't wait until then to see me again, I will be here every single day in your shorts, taking a great big deep breath, letting you know what I'm grateful for. Love when you join in with that. It does bring positive benefits to your own life to notice little things that you are grateful for. But I just love getting notifications of tiny little joys throughout my day. It makes me so happy. So like and subscribe, or don't, I'm not your mum. But either way, you have yourself a magical week.